Hey, it's PVSB with the CPG Guys. You know, we talk a lot about this on the show. For CPG marketers today, it's not just about reaching consumers. It's about connecting with them meaningfully at every touch point. Here's the reality. Shopping isn't just an event anymore. It's woven into daily life. And with consumers spending over 90 minutes streaming content daily, entertainment has become central to the shopping journey. Amazon Ads unifies commerce, entertainment, and open internet to reach 86% of U.S. households, turning trillions of consumer signals into powerful results, both on and beyond Amazon. So visit advertising.amazon.com to learn more. Hello and welcome to the CPG Guys podcast, set at the intersection of commerce and tech. Your hosts, Sri Rajagopalan and Peter V.S. Bond, explore how brands and retailers engage consumers in a digitally driven world. And now, here are the CPG Guys. Hello and welcome to the CPG Guys podcast. I am your indefatigable co-host, PVSB, and when I'm not podcasting, along with my BFF, I am leading industry and client engagement at Flywheel, the commerce acceleration division of Omnicom. Joining me, as always, on this journey, he's my BFF. He is the CRO of Think Blue Consulting. He's the patriarch of the Raj family media empire with his daughters, Laura and Rhea. Lots of big news going on there. We'll ask him a little bit about that before we get started. His podcasting wife, Kavita. I'm waiting for his 3 cats and his dog to somehow get into the media business as well. They do have Instagram accounts, though. Of course, I'm talking about my ride or die, Sri. Sri, this episode we recorded down in Nashville, Tennessee. We went down for Amazon Unboxed, but that's not what this episode is about. It's not about Amazon. What's going on here, Sri?
It's about serving others, and I'm super excited. That's what this episode is going to be about. We're going to learn about one of the most iconic, high penetration across the United States retailers that exist that brings value to shoppers every single day. I'm super excited they chose us to actually do this episode with, and I can't actually wait to get started. So Peter, what do we have going on?
Well, we had a wonderful meeting. We were invited up to the headquarters of Dollar General, where we met with Angela Martin. She's the Vice President of Customer Insights and Branding. And they were so pleased to walk us through. Now, if you go to their headquarters and you walk in the front door, you have to pass all these bears. Statues of bears sitting around a fountain, hanging from the roof. It's quite interesting. We actually get into what those bears are about. But that wasn't the primary reason we were there. We were there to get a personal tour of the Hall of Values. We're going to let Angela take us through this in this conversation, but it was a phenomenal hour, really understanding the history of Dollar General and why they're so successful and why they're such an integral part of the lives of so many Americans with their close proximity. And as we talked about it, in many communities across America, they're the only game in town for fresh produce and for grocery staples. So sit back, everybody, relax, listen to this great conversation. I know you're going to enjoy it, and we'll catch on the back end of this to give our summary.
Hey, it's the CPG Guys. We are here north of Nashville, Tennessee. We are at the headquarters of Dollar General, and we are pleased to have joining with Sheree and me, Angela Martin. Angela is the Vice President of Customer Insights and Branding at Dollar General. Angela, how you doing?
I am doing well, thank you.
We are excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation your team gave us, Sheree.
Hey, we're grateful that Brooke Stegman from Corporate Comms had us come down, and we're doing some awesome things with y'all today. We're going to learn about the Hall of Values. But ma'am, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So Peter and I walk into headquarters, we park, we see a bunch of black bears.
Yes.
Solve the mystery for us. What do the black bears represent? Because the legendary myth we find on AI and Google says that it's actually a black bear ran into a store in Jersey. I know that can't be the reason
It
why.
actually could have happened because we've had alligators, beavers, dogs, cats. But the real reason that we have black bears is when we built this building, our founder's son, who was our CEO at the time, really wanted to set the tone for really inspiring people to have fun when they work. In fact, there's a saying right around the bears. It says, using the work to develop the person
I saw that.
while having fun.
While having
fun. And bears are one of those animals that actually play. You see them on YouTube. They dance, they scratch, they roll down hills. And he thought it would be a great way to remind people that work is work, but you should also have fun at times doing that.
That's brilliant. What a great story.
Speaking of having fun at work, we also learned you've been with Dollar General 38 years.
Yes.
So tell us what drives somebody in that order of being developed and having fun. 38 years. What's kept you here for 38 years?
Well, I was still in college as an intern. But I will tell you the main reason. There are two. One is the company's values that the Turners actually say was developed from Scottsville, Kentucky, where I'm from, our hometown. But the second reason is our customers. You know, lots of things have changed at Dollar General except for one thing, and that is the folks we serve are those who have too much month left at the end of their money. They're cash strapped. And I grew up as one of those customers, but years ago when we were doing some focus groups, I was fresh out of college writing everything everybody said. They went around the room asking customers why they shop at Dollar General. And this one lady, her name was Monique, she lived in Nashville. She didn't have a car. We had a store in Nashville right down the street at that time. And she said that thanks to Dollar General, she survived because of having the store nearby, the values that we have, the assortment that we have.
Okay.
And I realized that there was a way for us to, for me to have a career and make money, but also make a difference in the lives of customers.
That's great. What a great story. Well, as we said, we're just so happy to be here. And one of the things that we're very excited to hear about is the Hall of Values.
Yes.
So here we are, and we're going to let you walk us through. Sheree and I are going to have lots of questions.
That is great.
We're very intrigued about this. So please lead
All right.
on.
Let's go on in. We remodeled our hall a couple of years ago, and we tried to develop it in a way that would be easy for us to keep updated.
Okay.
And one of the ways that we do that is to use a lot of technology, digital screens that we can update. And so we will take a tour around. We'll start with our history, and then we'll end with some of the things that we're doing currently.
Okay.
You know, there's a word I saw up here, and it keeps, because it's screen, it'll come back. It talks about integrity.
Yes.
Tell us about integrity in Dollar General.
You know, it's been part of our company for as long as I can remember. And it started with the founders and the Turners. And it's really about, making sure that we provide our customers. Yes, making sure that we provide our customers with the values that they need in the stores around the country, but doing so in a way that has integrity. And being authentic to that, making sure that we give a great value for our customers and also great opportunities for employees.
Peter, how important is it? It actually says we believe in integrity in everything we do.
Yep.
That's right.
That's how you build trust in your customers and why they keep coming back to you week after week. You deliver
Absolutely.
value and they trust that you're going to make sure you have that.
Absolutely.
So if we start over here, I want to pause a little bit and talk about serving others. This has been our mission since our founder's son, Cal Turner Jr., who was also our CEO. When he took over leadership, he brought a lot of new ideas. He's a graduate from Vanderbilt, and he brought a lot of new ideas and structures to who we are, because we started out the first dollar store ever was founded by Dollar General by Mr. Turner. And so one of the things he did was to clarify why we do what we do. And serving others has been our mission since, I guess it was in the 80s when our mission statement and values were articulated by the Turners.
So I have a question on that. There's a saying, serving customers, which obviously you'll do every day for a living.
Yes.
That's the business of Dollar General. But when you say serving others, what comes to mind is community.
Absolutely.
So tell us about the communities that Dollar General is anchored in.
Oh, I love that question because one of the things we are most proud of is that Dollar General can go where other retailers either cannot or will not go, into those small communities throughout the United States. And so our ability to become a part of the community without destroying other businesses is something we take a lot of pride in. So we have a role to serve. We also say serving others, our employees, so that they can have a better life, our shareholders with superior returns on investment, but also when you think about who we serve, it is the broader community, not just our customers.
Makes a lot of sense. No, absolutely. I know that where I go up into the Catskill Mountains in New York when I go fishing, there are a couple of stores in towns where they are the only store in town, and those communities would have to make major sacrifices to get to some place where they could buy their grocery staples. So you do clearly present a very valuable contribution to the communities where those people live.
Well, and I'm glad that you noticed that because, you know, the thing that I love, growing up in the country, I grew up in Holland, Kentucky, population 50, going to Scottsville, Kentucky was going to town.
That was a big city.
That was the big city. You know, a lot of folks have to drive quite a distance in rural America to get to a place that can support a full grocery store or a mass retailer. And having this ability not only keeps things convenient for our customers, they save on gas, they save on money, but it also supports those needs that they have whenever they have them. So I'm glad one of our customers several years ago, I guess it was 5 years ago, once said, and she was in Versailles, Kentucky, and it is Versailles.
It is not
Versailles. There you go.
It's not some fancy schmancy French palace.
No, it is not.
It's Versailles.
It's Versailles. And in Versailles, she said, we have a saying up here, every time it rains, another Dollar General store grows. And we love that because we can be part of those communities and really meet people where they live.
Great.
Fabulous. One other last question before we move on, which is, tell our audience what percent of the population in the United States does Dollar General reach? Is it within 5 miles, 10 miles?
I think within 5 miles, it's 75%.
75%. That's
so,
awesome.
So think about that. 75% of Americans are within 5 miles of a DG.
That is incredible. Good. That's community.
That is community. Very much so.
Okay.
All right, so we actually didn't start as Dollar General. That didn't happen until the mid-50s. We actually started in 1939 as J.L. Turner and Son Wholesale. And did you all know that?
No. Did not know that.
So J.L. Turner was our founder's father, and he and his son created the Turner department stores later. But we actually started out as a wholesaler.
Huh.
And it wasn't until the mid-50s that our founder actually hit upon the Dollar General concept. But even before then, the Turners actually got into retailing. They had junior department stores, and they got into retailing. And this is their words, not mine. But as Mr. Turner said, his father was into ladies' panties. And let me explain, because that one needs an explanation. We cannot leave that there. Mr. Turner always said that if it's bought right, it's half sold. And after the war, he had bought all these ladies' lingerie.
Okay.
And he went to all the retailers that they serviced and wanted them to buy the lingerie. And they said, well, Cal, I haven't sold all the panties that we've already bought from you. And Mr. Turner at that time, he and his father decided to go directly to the customer. And so that's how we went from a wholesaler to a retailer. And then it would be until 1955 before Mr. Turner had the idea for Dollar General.
Okay. Right.
You know, before we do anything else, I asked you a question about United States, and I see a map. It almost feels wrong for me to not ask you. Tell us about the map.
So the map is designed, let's just go over here. So you're originally from Canada.
Yes.
And India. Where do you all live right now?
So Shree's in Los Angeles.
All right. So if you click on California. You'll see
Wonderful.
how many stores we have.
Okay.
We have different formats under the Dollar
Yes.
General umbrella. One of them is the DG Market. And we also have 2 distribution centers.
Okay.
Now,
And DG Market, of course, is fresh produce, food.
it's more of a full grocery shop.
full
In
grocery
fact,
shop.
it has the most cooler doors. We have fresh foods,
Okay.
fresh meats, fresh produce,
Excellent.
in addition to the regular general merchandise
Okay.
side. All right.
Okay.
I'm from Kentucky, and we have 743 stores, 3 DG Markets, 8 pop shelves, which is
Yes.
another format that we have, as well as 3 distribution centers.
Tell us about the pop shelves, please.
Be happy to. So, right during the pandemic, the heart of the pandemic, we were looking at, and we always look at different formats, different ways to serve the customer. And on this particular period of time, we were looking at how do we provide a whole different store format than from our Dollar General, really focusing more on the non-consumables.
Okay.
And so we developed a brand called Pop Shelf, doing very well. We have designed it so that it actually takes the stress out of shopping. Shopping is not pleasant at times. Shopping can be stressful. And we wanted a great shopping experience where people didn't have guilt around prices, where they
Okay.
could treat themselves.
Okay.
And they also had more of a stress-free environment.
Okay.
Have you all been in one?
I've seen one. I've not been in one.
So we have one in Hendersonville, not far from here. And
Okay.
I'd love for
The
you all to
CPG
go
guys
and
will
see
check it out.
Okay,
There
you
we
all
go.
will check
There we
that
go.
out. And then I love going to Texas because we have
A lot of pop
over
shelf stores
17
there.
and we have 1,700 plus stores,
Yes.
82 DG Markets, and 4 distribution centers. So we are literally in all of the lower 48.
Congratulations
States.
on all the reach.
You're
Thank you.
You're the closest Dollar General to me is a 7-minute drive from my house in Guilford, Connecticut.
That is-
pass by it every day, taking my daughter to and from school. So we're in there all the time. It's
That is
one of her
awesome.
favorite places to stop on the way home. is
Do you
to-
treat her? Let her
course
get
I
something?
do.
There you go. I love hearing
Any good
that.
dad would do that.
Any good dad.
She runs right for the toy section, figures out what she wants, and then occasionally wants a beverage or something else to snack on.
You know, that's interesting. One of the things that we learned is that Dollar General is that place where a lot of our customers don't have enough money
Yeah.
to be able to provide some things that their children want and need.
Yeah.
But being able to give your kid $1 and send them to the toy section to be able to find
Yeah.
something or a candy bar, that's one of those things that we take a lot of pride in.
I'm going to give you my own convenience example.
Okay.
In my own personal life, my hardware items, also tools, I have never bought from anything but a Dollar General store.
All right.
And I
That
don't-
deserves a high five.
I don't go
love
to
that.
other formats. I just by default to the day, whether it's nails, screwdrivers, and there are unique things I can find in a Dollar General that I can't anywhere else. Micro screwdrivers, you can only find them in a Dollar General. It's very hard to find them otherwise.
What do you use a micro screwdriver for?
Watches, repairing little things.
You know, that's one of the reasons our name is Dollar General, and there's
It's a
the
general
dollar,
store.
we can
General.
talk about it, but that general store was, you know, we don't have enough space like a huge mass retailer, but in the space we have, we want to have breadth of
Yeah.
selection.
Absolutely.
And micro screwdrivers are
There
on
you
the
go.
list.
I think prior to our conversation, I was telling you a story. We, of course, saw the US map over here, but anytime I get an international visitor visiting me from any corner of the world, they want to go
They
to
want
a
a
Dollar
Dollar
General
General.
store. And
I love
they've
that.
got a budget, $100.
$100.
And they don't walk
they-
out with less than $100.
They're going to spend $99.28. They're going to maximize.
We have been talking a lot about our founders.
Yeah.
And this is Mr. Turner Sr. He and his dad, they had J.L. Turner and Son Wholesale, which became Turner and Son Department Stores, which became Dollar General. But Mr. Turner, and then this is Cal Jr., who we have spoken about.
Yep.
Mr. Turner came up with the dollar idea of a dollar store because he always got the Nashville paper, and back then it was the Nashville Banner. There were 2 papers. It's gone out, and also the Louisville Courier Journal. And he began noticing that these retailers, department stores, would take out a full page ad, a full page just on dollar days. And he had this idea of what if we make every day Dollar
I
Day.
love that. Every day is a dollar day.
So for our audience, right? That's how the concept of Dollar General developed. Every day is a
Every
dollar
day is a
day.
dollar day.
Yeah, absolutely. And back then, it could be in multiples, like 2 for $1, 2 for even $5. Everything wasn't always around that $1, but the thought was everything that we do is going to have value for $1.
Okay.
And so when he opened the first Dollar General store, it was in 1955. It was in Springfield, Kentucky.
Okay.
And the reason he went there was a couple of reasons. First of all, when he had his bright idea about Dollar General and he took it to his leadership team, they said, no, that would never work. It will never work.
So speaking of values, we're in the Hall of Values for Dollar General. We talked about community. We're now, I'm sensing we're shifting into customer.
Yes.
So tell us values. What does value mean to a customer? Since we're at the values wall.
Well, value is a loaded question these days because the proliferation of cell phones and the information you have at your fingertips provides a lot of information on value. But at its heart and core, it's giving value for $1 spent, whatever that is. So it's good price, good quality, but it's also convenience. You know, time is money.
Time is money.
Time is money. That's, you know, our tagline is save time, save money every day. And so
that's why I go to a Dollar General to the day.
That is awesome.
Well, you know, we were talking with your colleague Austin Leonard, who runs TG Media Network, and he was talking about the last mile delivery strategy, and that component of, we can make it convenient for you, but there has to be value in the delivery is still something the Dollar General has not forgotten about. It is front and center in how they are taking their delivery service to market.
My father-in-law is actually visiting me from India now, and we were driving by. I have a Dollar General within 5 miles of where I live in Los Angeles. And he reminded me last week on the drive, do not forget, we haven't done a Dollar General trip. So I wasn't kidding.
He won't leave the country until he's made his trip and he's packed up what he needs to bring
You come from good people, I can tell.
Does.
You come from people that know value. That is awesome.
Now I'm going to go back and tell him that story and actually show him some of this content that we're shooting.
Exactly.
But I see customers here.
Well, the customer is throughout, and the Turners, Mr. Turner had a great ability to just inherently understand the customer. You know, his father, J.L. Turner, had to drop out of school in the 3rd grade when his father was killed, and he became the man of the house and farmed. One of the things that we always hear at Dollar General is always plow to the end of the road, or road, not road. But when J.L. Turner was growing up, he really wanted a better life for his son. And they went into wholesale from farming. And part of that was he wanted to have, when he did Dollar General, he wanted to serve the rural, lower income, cash-strapped folks that he was very familiar with and grew up with in Kentucky.
I see a little message here. It says, as a boy, Cal Jr. worked in the warehouse, sweeping the floors himself, helping managers load merchandise into their car trunks and back seats. Talk about learning distribution. Clerking in the dry goods store, there's your cashier right there. He watched farmers agonize over even small purchases. That's commodities. Supply chain, commodities. Kentucky farmers, he learned the value of hard-earned dollar. To folks with all few of them, that's product acquisition, raw material acquisition. My father believed anyone would do well to be brought up in a small town. I'm grateful for my upbringing, he says. Cal Jr.'s father taught him to understand the business from the perspective of struggling, hardworking customers. There's a reason why y'all have so many stores today, and there's the heart of it.
That is the heart of it. We really do have a passion for low-income customers, our core customers. In fact, I was at a meeting with our SVP over merchandising with PepsiCo last week. And one of the things that he mentioned was
Is that Mr. Hartshorn?
Yes, Brian Hartshorn. Yes.
We worked together while I was at General Mills. So.
You know, I've known him since he was in the 8th grade, and I was taller than him. He's now 6'3". But he mentioned that, you know, we like to have a chair empty at the table in a lot of meetings to represent the customer.
That's great.
How awesome.
I like that.
So y'all actually practice that out.
We have
By
in
leaving,
merchandising.
but
I don't think it happens all
That's
the
awesome.
time.
That's okay.
But in big meetings, we talk.
The mission clear.
Oh, the mission is clear, and so is our customer. We take a lot of pride in understanding who our core customers are and how we serve them, and it's really fundamental to our continued success.
Okay.
A lot of folks, I think, sometimes wants to grow customers so much, or new customer acquisition, that they forget the heart of their business. And we never want to do that, because our low prices and value and convenience, that's what draws in other more affluent customers to shop with us.
So don't be surprised if there's a t-shirt the CPG guys wear with that very value concept of an empty seat at the table.
There we go.
Because that, I think people
like
have
to make
forgotten
t-shirts.
people have forgotten these days that
They have.
at the end of the day, what do CPG manufacturers and retailers service the customer?
That is exactly
You have
right.
an empty seat, representative, that's best case
So
scenario.
when we walked in, you talked about integrity, and one of the points you made is not only to your customers, but to your employees. So can you talk a little bit about, because I see over here, hard work, common sense is the cornerstone of Dollar General's go-to-market strategy. But you mentioned that it's written outside, make sure you have fun. And that kind of gets to the heart of do what you love. Tell us a little bit more about how that builds into the ethos that is Dollar General.
Sure. I mean, we work super hard at Dollar General. We are a lean organization, because a leaner organization can pass along costs to the customers. And I think that's really important. And we really take developing of our employees very seriously. I started out as an intern.
Yeah.
And since then have progressed throughout the organization.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Our CMO, Emily Taylor, started out as an administrative assistant at Dollar General.
Didn't know that. Next time I see Emily, I will ask her about that
we saw Emily at our award show last December in New York City, and talked to her about, and that kind of led to a lot of the conversations we've been having.
Actually, I saw her last week
Oh, you did?
at the Coca-Cola Research Council.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And so I think, that just demonstrates that at Dollar General, if you embrace hard work, the passion of serving others and our customers, and you're willing to put in the hard work, you can really go far in the organization.
That's how it should be. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love that. Do what you love, then you won't dread coming to work on Monday, because all too often we are, oh gosh, Monday morning.
I like to
we
red
get the
pants.
Monday blues. Talk to us about loving coming in on a Monday to work.
Well, I think
This
everybody.
is a tough business. Retail is tough.
It is tough, and we like to talk about the speed of DG, which is retail is a fast-paced environment, as you're well aware. But Mr. Turner always believed very strongly that we have to make sure that you enjoy what you do at work, because you're there more with folks your coworkers during the day than even your family. So that's really important. And you mentioned these peak
Now,
pants.
I'm from New England, right?
Okay.
Those of us who will go to Nantucket would refer to this as Nantucket Red.
Oh.
But this is about painting the town pink. Now, what's that about?
Well, Mr. Turner Sr., our founder, he would pretty much buy anything if the price is right.
Okay,
and he
good deals.
worked with a local manufacturer. I think it was Washington. It was in Scottsville.
Okay.
And they had an excess of pants. The pink was a big thing in the 50s. I didn't know that. But it was kind of at the end of that phase. And Mr. Turner bought a bunch of pink pants. And literally in our first Dollar General store in Springfield, Kentucky, farmers and folks would be wearing their pink. Pretty much everybody had a pair because it was such a good value.
And
Talk about being
durable.
a trendsetter back in the days, huh?
The value trend center. I love that.
I noticed another message here that talks about unique marketing. What is unique marketing?
Well, here's a great example. Mr. Turner had all these he was such an incredible entrepreneur, but he had an idea of putting like a shoe in a block of ice and then whoever could guess when it would actually melt, they got the prize.
That was the contest.
That was the contest. Another thing that he did, and it shows how much he knew his customers. He actually gave out one pair of work gloves. You've seen the brown work gloves?
Yes.
Very important to farmers, especially tobacco. Oh, yeah, right over here. He had the idea to hand out one for free. And then and then he had the other one in the store to draw them into
I
the
love
store.
it. If you want to get the other one, it's in the store.
That's right.
Brilliant idea.
And his idea was that if they came in to cash their check, they would have the money right there when it was time to make some purchases.
Smart.
So it's just brilliant.
Unique marketing indeed.
Yes.
Then we see tools of the trade.
Yes, Mr. Turner, this is his actual monitor back from Scottsville, and he had an office down there, and he would actually write out notes to himself and put, let me see if I can find, I don't see it.
I see a lot of numbers.
Mr. Turner was all
That's
about
notes,
the numbers.
Sticky notes back
if
then.
you're in a dollar store, you better be all about the numbers.
He was. He had one, after he retired but not retired, he had one store that he was the district manager of, and it was Scottsville, Kentucky. And he looked at the sales every day. He made special purchases. But one of the things, and I don't see it on here, is Mr. Turner would always doodle the word now on anything that he had. And one of the reasons that he did that, there you go. One of the reasons he did that was because he knew time was money. Yeah. And he didn't like sit-down meetings. People got too comfortable. He wanted stand-up meetings.
Well, then people are incentivized to move faster.
That's what he wanted. And I think our love for the speed of DG actually originates with our founder.
Okay. Awesome. We do see the mission statement right here. So maybe we should read that one out, and we'll ask you to do that.
Sure. We have it, as we mentioned earlier, it's serving others. And every time we open our doors, we do so with that commitment in mind, whether it's offering affordable access to quality products in convenient locations, or creating jobs that grow into meaningful careers, or even investing in life-changing educational programs. We strive to do that and to serve others. And then you can see at the bottom, for our customers, convenience, quality, and great prices. Our employees, respect and opportunity. Our shareholders, a superior return. And then for our communities, a better life.
Simple message. Serving others. Nothing complicated. Right. Who are the others? Right here. Customers, employees, shareholders, communities.
And straightforward. The thing I love is that a lot of other people or other businesses' mission statement, there's a long sentence, right?
That's my point. Simple.
It just really boils it down to the most important part.
When you serve others, it automatically works out. And we see literacy foundation.
Yes.
It would be impossible for us to leave without asking you about the foundation.
Well, the foundation was actually, we started the literacy as our philanthropy back in the 80s. And the reason for that is, remember, Mr. Turner's father, J.L. Turner, dropped out of school in the 3rd grade to take care of his family. And because of that, we really understand the limitations of illiteracy and the economic issues that can provide. We also understand why sometimes people do drop out of school or don't have the skill sets. And so with that in mind, the Turners developed this for Dollar General. And Deneen Tor, who is over our philanthropies, has done an excellent job in really elevating this. And so we do provide opportunities for folks to learn, in even English classes, as well as literacy classes throughout the United States. So we're very proud of that.
And is the Yellow Glasses Project existent today?
It is existing
Tell us
today.
more.
So we developed this to try to remind people, and reading glasses makes sense, but we made sunglasses because they're just cooler, Yellow glasses is part of, we do sell them. The proceeds go to support literacy.
Sure.
And besides, they just look real cool. I'll make sure you all get a pair.
Oh,
great.
I think the CPG guys are
there's going to be a picture on LinkedIn with those glasses.
I certainly hope so.
All right.
And as we continue and talk about employees here.
Hang on a second. While we're here.
Oh, I love this.
Awesome. We get it straight from headquarters.
Thank you kindly.
And then one more, because if you're like me, you lose them. So
I think my daughter is going to like
all right,
these.
there you go.
6.5-year-old
I
with
think
yellow
this is
glass
gonna be-
sunglasses. That's a no-brainer.
There we go. So this is going to be Shree's glasses for the rest of this conversation.
Oh
There we
my
go.
gosh.
You might want to take the tag off, though.
Yeah.
I'll get it off.
You
But
could
let's-
leave it on. That's Mini Pearl in Tennessee.
It is kind of, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's kind of Tennessee.
But employees and our promise to employees. So let's talk about how we serve our employees.
Well, we do it in various ways. We certainly have recognition programs that we use. We call the highest level of that is the Chairman's Circle. It's for folks throughout the organization who have done above and beyond work for Dollar
Is it
General.
like an annual award
It is an
ceremony?
annual reward. In fact, we have their names in our ridge, the
great.
cafeteria
Okay.
here. But we also have development, and we also provide opportunities for communities within the organization.
I got to imagine people really want to get on that wall in the cafeteria.
They
It's
absolutely
gotta
want to
be
get on the
super
wall.
prestigious.
It is.
FOMO almost.
It is.
How do Peter
And
and
I
get on that
haven't
wall?
won one. So, I
no.
mean,
We gotta-
yeah,
we gotta
you're talking
correct
about
that. We
really
gotta-
high
we're gonna
achievers,
send-
not
we're
me.
So the CPG guys have no chance.
Shree, we're going to send a message to leadership at DG. It would not be a bad thing for Angela.
That's okay.
Now, you mentioned this when we
Yes.
came in, the pop shelf.
Here is our pop shelf. You can see the brand is a stark departure from all of our other
Very
brands
different.
under our umbrella. All the things you see here is from our first grand opening.
And how many stores do you have now that are pop shops? You
oh,
started
gosh.
5 years ago. You started.
A little over 200.
A little over 200.
Wow.
I mean, for us, that's a small number of stores. For other retailers, it's a chain.
It is
Somebody could be the entire chain, like you
It
said,
could be the
or
entire
5
chain.
chains.
But you can see we have a lot of things such as home decor. We have
so non-consumable.
non-consumables. Yeah, it's a great store.
Right.
And then we, earlier in this conversation, we met people from Mexico.
That's the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, let's wait to get there.
Okay.
Can't wait to get
We
there.
We'll
can
go
just turn around. And here it kind of goes back to investing in the growth and development of our teams. And the whole comment that we have around the bears
Yes.
outside,
Yes.
using the work to develop the person while having fun.
While having fun.
And I can attest that we do a lot of training throughout the organization, not just corporate, but stores and distribution centers.
Okay.
You can really grow at Dollar General.
You talked about rewarding employees. Well, congratulations to Eleni Sarafopoulos,
that is
District 869, for your leadership impact.
that
That's
is
how you reward employees.
that's how we reward them.
And you've actually in this case, you put her in the Hall of Value, so anybody walking here actually knows.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And we have other winners there as well.
Okay.
So it's a great opportunity. They may not even know that they're here.
Well, they will.
Now
if
they
listen to
will.
the
Now.
podcast.
Now they will.
now. And this is about our supply chain.
Yes.
Um,
If you can't get products to the stores, people can't buy them.
Nothing else really matters, right? And we have over 22 distribution centers. Is it 22? I can't remember.
More than 30.
Oh, more than 30 when we include our fresh distribution centers.
So more than 30, including fresh distribution centers.
Yeah.
That is correct. We still have one in our hometown where we were founded in Scottsville, Kentucky.
Okay.
And we have them literally, and I think you saw on the map, we have them throughout
Right,
the entire company.
So speaking of supply chain, since we're right here in distribution, how many stores does Dollar General have in the United States?
We have over 20,000 stores in the 48
Contiguous states.
contiguous.
There we
I
go.
was
I love
trying
that
to
word,
think of it. Thank you
contiguous.
so much, states.
And then have you all announced expansion for next year?
We have not announced
Not
that
yet.
yet. I think that's going to be next week or the week after.
Okay.
We'll be eagerly looking forward to the expansion. Because
And also our remodels.
Oh,
Okay.
awesome. Because when you're serving others, that's expansion is important so you can serve more.
But
Pretty
you
straightforward.
have moved beyond the 48 contiguous states. You moved south.
That is true.
Tell us about Mi Super.
Oh, I love this brand. So Mi Super Dollar General, we opened our first stores around the Monterrey area in Mexico, where we provide, we saw that there was some white space in retailing in Mexico in this area. There were stores that had great value.
Okay.
but didn't have really good in-store experiences. There were other stores that had great in-store experiences, but were out of range for a lot of the hardworking cash-strapped customers down there. So we wanted to bring our model, small stores, with more emphasis in you have more produce and meats and some of those items to the local communities. Only 40% of folks in Mexico have a car, and usually it's one car per household. They're shopping.
So doing a stock-up trip with the way you do in the United States is not realistic.
Can't do it, and they're buying pretty much every day, every other day for that day or the next day needs.
Makes sense.
And so we opened our stores down there. They've been really well received. Best fresh breads, which we make right there on site in our tortillerias. Wonderful breads. And we've gotten great results from them. Customers love us. And the most important part is we are definitely serving an underserved customer base.
Brilliant.
Awesome. So as we wrap this up, I'm just curious, what's changed with the average size of the basket over the last few years? Have you seen it move in any direction?
We have seen it move. It has grown. And you know what we really also measure ourselves on is trips and driving customers to our stores, because we are by nature a smaller basket size. We're really focused on that value. And so we really are focused on driving those trips to our stores.
Understood. And then are you seeing in the last few years expansion, your footprint has expanded? Are you seeing more trips coming in, frequencies change, anything of that sort?
Yeah, I would say this. You know, we may have started focused just on the low-income consumers, but more affluent Americans are figuring out that you shouldn't have to pay more for toilet paper.
Why would you? Why would you?
Value.
And we're convenient.
Money.
Time and money. And so we have seen really a large influx of more affluent customers who are counting on us as well.
So I got one more for you before we wrap this up. We talked about employees.
Yep.
We talked about the customer. We talked about values, all part of who you serve, community. The one we haven't talked about is shareholders. And I see a piece of the wall back there which says a mature retailer in growth mode. How do those two words come together? Mature growth mode.
That is an excellent question. We have been very fortunate in being able to be such a growth retailer, and it kind of goes back, if you think about it, to our ability to go to places that others cannot or will not go. It allows us to expand our footprint, grow our sales, and have a great return for our shareholders.
Brilliant.
Awesome. I know I said that would be the last one to wrap it up, but
that's why I never wrap it up.
Our new products.
A double secret
just
extra
one more.
I promise you.
That's okay.
We'll wrap it up with this one. Talk to us about Dollar General's new product base.
Yeah, we have a lot of private brands. Some people call them store brands. Dollar General has always provided, well, I shouldn't say always, since the mid-90s to late 90s, we have our private brand, the oldest of which is our Clover Valley food label. In addition to that, we have different brands, Good and Smart, which is a great way to save money by buying our products, great quality. But we have them throughout some of the other departments as well. Great dog food, Cozy Place, candles, the fragrances, one of my favorites. I love it.
By the way, the packaging is impeccable.
Outstanding packaging. Your Shavely's shave products, that looks like a very high-end brand.
It is, because it's Dollar General. It's quality, but you don't pay for the expensive marketing.
You get the quality without paying the big price.
Look at the packaging.
I know, it's brilliant. It's beautiful packaging.
Of course, I'm referring here to dryer sheets for those listening to us.
But it has a cute dog and cat on it, so it is
perfect.
You know what's so interesting in this day and age, because this gets to the digital shelf, right? The biggest obstacle to consumers, this is from my research background, of people adopting private brands has always been the issue of quality, right? And now in the digital shelf, people have the ability to go on and read product ratings and reviews to consumers. And it's amazing how 1,000 people that you have never met are going to pay more of an impact on your decision to buy a product than anything a brand or a retailer can say about it. So now they start seeing, oh, there are like 2,000 people that think chili and lime roasted tortilla chips is phenomenal. I'm going to give that a try. And that breaks down, that gets them trying the product. And once they've tried it, then they get to actually experience the high quality, and then they don't
go back.
They don't
typically.
Go back. They don't.
Yeah,
they don't.
Because they like the quality as well as the price.
So I'll wrap this up by thanking Corporate Communications from Dollar General, thanking you for joining us on the CPG Guys, walking us through the Hall of Values, meticulously and patiently answering our questions, walking us through.
Don't forget the
sunglasses. And for those of you watching, I've got the Special Yellow Project sunglasses on.
Love that.
And thank you so much for making time and joining us on the CPG Guys.
I really appreciate
Angela,
it. It's been an honor. Thank you for coming.
And to our audience, that's a wrap. We'll see you next time on the CPG Guys podcast. Goodbye.
Well, Sri, that was a phenomenal time walking through the Hall of Values with Angela Martin. It was such an incredible treat. You know, Brooke Stegeman in corporate communications put this all together for us. Shout out to Brooke. But what an inspiring and educational hour we spent with Angela. What are your thoughts on this? What are some big takeaways for you?
As we walked in to the Hall of Values, the first thing we saw was the mission statement: service of everybody, serving everyone. And when you see the serving others, when you see that and you think of who the others are, three things came to mind, and it's exactly what the mission statement is: servicing their own, the employees, servicing the community that they exist in, and most importantly, servicing the customer. You put that at the center of your values, you can't go wrong, man.
Yeah, Shri, for me, the big takeaway is that people at Dollar General like Nantucket red pants as much as this New Englander does. In seriousness, you understand what I mean. But no, in reality, for me, it was they have such close proximity to a vast majority of the American population, and they do not take lightly their commitment to make good quality products affordable and accessible to Americans. You know, our friend, and in an omni-channel way. You know, they started as a brick and mortar business, and between their DG delivery model, their partnership with a couple of last mile delivery mechanisms, and the physical proximity to the stores really makes Dollar General such an essential part of the lives of so many Americans. That's really what stood out to me. So Shri, as always, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. It was a phenomenal conversation. We have one more in the series, you know, Shri. Following up, if you like this episode, you're going to love the one we have with our next guest, Alan Wark, who's the vice president and head of merchandising for grocery and fresh food. So it's an absolute wonderful conversation as they take us on a tour of a DG Market store. So more to follow there. Shri, as always, thanks again to our audience. Make sure you are following us on your preferred platform of podcasting, but also make sure you're following us across the social media choices: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Did I miss anything, Shri? I think we're going to have to get on. We have to get on Pinterest.
YouTube
too. Yeah, YouTube's a big one, people. All of our episodes are now available on YouTube, so make sure you're going there. But thanks as always, Shri, to our audience. We look forward to speaking with you on the next episode of the CPG Guys podcast. Goodbye.
The content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from CPG Guys LLC or the individual author, hosts, or guests, nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by CPG Guys LLC.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views expressed by CPG Guys LLC do not represent the views of their employers or the entity they represent. CPG Guys LLC expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, or inability to use this podcast or the information we present in this podcast.